Super performance by Eduardo Mata today in the Coppa Italia. Another super episode here of the Calcio Guys. Gianni, Adriano, I'm Nicholas. You can follow us on all your favorite podcasting platforms and social media at the Calcio Guys. Gianni, you're back. No, sorry, we were all here last week.
Yes, I was about to say.
The three of us are back. That's what I meant to say. The three of us are back together. Yeah, lots to talk about. First of all, guys, how's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good. It was a Calcio infested weekend. It seemed like on our end, Nick. I know anybody who follows us on social media, like Nick said, obviously FC Supra's first home game, which was nice. We were able to be in attendance. So Nick's got the nice thing on the nice shirt on the Display Pro. Got the scarf as well here. So FC Supra, unfortunately not with the win, but the keychain as well by Gianni. Just want to say, just a huge turnout, just under 5,000 people at Sepsum over the weekend. Happy to have been a part of it. And just happy to be back talking culture on the pod.
Little bit of a busy week for me. I got a lot going on right now with the school. I have to prep my kids for big tests coming up. I have flag football season that just started for my Bantam girls. And it's like topics. I have to prep topics for. It's just life of a teacher. That's all it is.
Should we call you Mister?
Mister? Julian Onzima. Thank you.
We'll leave it at
that.
Yeah. So the big news this week before we get into Serie, I mean, more that it's recent. Coppa Italia, two pretty good games. You know what? For a competition that the first leg of the semifinals that weren't as exciting as I know the Atalanta-Lazio finished 2-2 in the first leg, but Como-Inter was 0-0. It was a great second legs of the Coppa Italia semifinals. Yesterday, Inter 3-2 over Como. A late goal from Šucic. 89th minute, Inter comeback. They're down 2-0. They came back, 2 goals from Hakan to tie it up, and they came back to win it in the 89th minute. Look, we'll start with that. Como, it's a team kind of on, I would say a downslope a bit. Maybe reality is hitting them a bit. They've lost, I think, 2 straight in the SerieA. Juve has passed them in the Champions League standings. It felt like this had to be one of their goals, right? Winning the Coppa Italia. I'm sure their goal is definitely still finishing top 4 and qualifying for the Champions League. But now they're out of Coppa Italia. They're currently outside top 4. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's going to be a disappointing season for Como, but where they were, let's say 2 months ago, 3 months ago, compared to now, it sucks for their fans, right? But again, it's Inter, guys. This is the best team in the Serie, so no surprise they're going back to the Coppa Italia final. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the game. I know, Jenny, you were busy, but what do you think even about the whole Como slip and slide these past few weeks?
I mean, I think the bill was due at some point. Like they were playing with house money. Like I predict them to be top 8 this year, and they're definitely doing that and more, with their season. But it wasn't sustainable. They have something good in place, right? It's something that is obviously yielding results, as you can tell. Like, being in the top 4 for 2 months is something huge. Like when it's like usually like the normal, like the regular crew, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you see Como there. Massive surprise. Fabregas is doing a good job with the team, managing them well. They're backed, as we know, like by a very big group.
Yeah.
But like I said, the main question that you have going into next season, now you want to obviously try to finish as high as possible to try to earn whatever money you can get in Serie A. Coppa Italia money would have been nice to have too for financial reasons, even though they're not begging for money. But the main question is, how do you replace a player like Nico Paz in the upcoming season? That's something that we've talked about before. I'm not going to waste too much time again. Everyone who watches Serie A knows that he's great, and it's like 99.9% sure that he's heading back to Real Madrid come summertime. So they're definitely not going to do anything about it. So we'll see. What I wonder, like what Como should do right now, like I wonder what is to like what is your game plan to stop the bleeding? Because hold on, I think I have their recent record here. Their last 3 games were a draw, loss, and a loss. And they're always like marginal losses. They're all 1-goal losses. Are the wheels starting to fall off the wagon? Probably. So now this is where your mental fortitude comes in. How do you gain control of that again? Because you could risk losing your Europa League spot to Roma at this point, and hey, if I'm Roma, I mean, like, if I'm Roma, I'm a Romanista, but like, I wouldn't complain, but I'm just saying, like, they're breathing down your necks. You got to get serious. So if I'm them, yes, it does suck losing to Inter, but you said it perfectly before, Nick. Inter is Inter. They're firing all cylinders. They have such a lead for the Scudetto. I think we'll get there when we talk about it, but I think this weekend was pretty much what the last nail in the coffin was for the season. And I don't think you should be too disappointed if you lose to Inter, especially if you're a team like Como. So I think your best bet right now is to just, like, you know what, accept the loss, accept the defeat, try to gain some focus, try to like regain control, and get back to in the winning column for SerieA, because your European spots are European chances, are dwindling away.
Yeah, just other things I want to add to that. I mean, listen, I think for Como, and where they are right now is a bonus. Like, the who would have thought, and I know Johnny is our Nostradamus on the show, right? But predicting, for them to even finish top 10 was a big achievement. And like, listen, we're not here to celebrate these small victories, but from coming up to Serie B to being top 10 to now being in the fight for Europe. I mean, no matter what ends up happening, I think it's another building block on with this team. So I see people saying, "Oh yeah, the wheels are falling off" or whatever, like we were saying. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think any of us had them, or I don't think many people even would have predicted them to be where they are currently. So for them to be in the top four race, for them even to be in the Europa League race, I think is something positive. It's not to fucking preach the gospel for Como, but it's to be a realist. Like, this team is playing well. Yes, they have fallen a bit off, and maybe reality is starting to hit, but they were never a top four team to begin with, and they're still in that somewhat of a fight. If it's not going to be top four, it'll potentially be a Europa League spot. They're fighting with Roma and Atalanta currently. So I think for Como, no matter what happens come the end of the season, because there's only 5 games left, I think it's a positive season. Maybe some fans don't agree with that. And that's fine. But for me, from our perspective at the beginning of the season, having them maybe in the top 10 again, sure, but realistically fighting with 5 games left for a European spot, I don't think many people had that. So for me, it's a plus of a season. The factor of Nico Paz leaving at the end of the summer, or at the end of the year, sorry, in the summer, like Johnny mentioned, I think is something that we've kind of discussed a lot, like he said. And how do they become how do they not become the next Bologna, I think, is probably the other talking point, right? We saw Bologna do some incredible things, and getting to Europe and all that, Champions League, and we knew the team was going to get picked apart. It's unfortunate they weren't able to they were able to sustain some sort of quote unquote success. Obviously, the Coppa Italia win last season kind of maybe cover some things up, but not to stay in that top four fight, in the following seasons is something that's maybe disappointing. But let's see how if Como can do better than that. But again, I think, like I said just earlier, no matter what happens, their season, I think, is a good one in my eyes, at least. And listen, you go out to Inter in the semifinals of Coppa Italia, competition that, again, maybe people didn't really have them, in that semifinals. So you lost to a better team. It's unfortunate how they lost, being up 2-0. I'll say that, and being critical on that for sure, because you're up 2-0 against an Inter team that you know is strong. I think they could have done better to close the game. It's unfortunate they left it open and they left it for the taking. And Inter, like Johnny says, Inter's going to be Inter, so we have to expect these things, you know. So they are the best team in Serie A, if we like to say it or not. And you know, they're on to another final to face Lazio. So we'll see how things go, but it's clear that Inter wants to try to do the double this year. In my eyes, at least, right? They're pretty much there for the Scudetto, and you know they're a game away in May against Lazio for the Coppa Italia as well. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it should be an interesting final with Lazio being the other team there.
Yeah, and you know maybe Como needs to do like Atalanta, just play in the Europa League for a couple of seasons before making the Champions League.
But yeah,
I
it's a building block, right? Like I
Yeah.
mean, it's nobody expected this. Like I think only Johnny thought they were going to be a top 10 team, right? Like last season, right? So coming up from Serie B, what, like 2-3 years ago now, like that's going to be, and they're already like in the European fight. Like I don't know, like when was the last Serie B team to do that? Like I don't know. Like it's
Me
I
with
guess
Lecce and my FIFA 17 playthrough.
maybe the closest would be like, I know it's a distance because Bologna, I think they were in Serie B about 10 years ago. Maybe that's the closest. So it takes time. It takes time
yeah,
to
it takes
I
time.
mean,
But
we could also say Atalanta, like
Atalanta.
that
Yeah.
was like
yeah,
a
but
12
in
They're in
years
this
Serie
ago.
B
short
before.
this short span of a
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah,
it
true.
hasn't been done. And again,
No.
people listening to this can quote us and get back to us on the facts. But in recent memory, I don't see a team in this short time span doing what they're doing. Okay, yeah, the money invested and all that. They're not a typical Serie B team. Let's just say, sure, that does play a factor, but still you can have all the money in the world, you can buy everything in the that you want in the world, and still not have the results. So I don't know, listen, for me it's a plus wherever they fall, but um we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so I guess good transition into the other Coppa Italia final, semifinal featuring Atalanta. Another great game. Look, 2-2 after the first leg. Look, Lazio scored in the 47th minute, Dele Bashiru. Atalanta responded with Peslic in the 51st. Dia in the 87th, Musa in the 89th. And it seemed like today was the same thing. Romagnoli in the 84th, Pasalic in the 86th. So Lazio pretty much blew three leads. Yes, 1 goal leads across these two games. It goes to penalty today, and the star of the show is Eduardo Mota. 4 penalty saves, which is insane. Out of 5 shots, yes, Raspadori scored the first, but then he stopped Scamacca, Zappacosta, Pasalic, and De Cataler. When I saw the score after and that there was 4 penalty misses, I was like, what is this? Did Cristante shoot 4 times? Did he dress up for Atalanta and he shoot 4 times? But I was surprised
for Atalanta.
I know that's the joke. I'm referencing the
I know.
I'm referencing the bad thing that happened almost a month ago. Okay,
Man, we
we
gotta work on our jokes, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, he scored in the Euros a few years back for us. So let's
he did.
Fuck
okay,
that.
but anyways, sorry. I'll stop being an asshole. Go ahead.
Fuck
It's okay.
that.
No, but it's crazy still. 4 stops by Mota. This is a guy who's only played 1 game for the U21 team, and now I know he's his name's come up. If you follow Serie A, you kind of knew who he was throughout the season. I'm pretty sure his first full season with Lazio. But right away he's put his name on the map. We'll see how much more playing time he gets in the capital city. But yeah, look, for Lazio to go back to the final. I forget, did they play Inter in a final already? I think in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or was that Lazio Atalanta 2019? Lazio beat Atalanta. So recently Lazio and Inter didn't meet in the final. Never mind. But look, we're going to see a good final between a team who definitely wants a trophy. Lazio hasn't won a trophy since 2019. I know they had won the Super Coppa that year too. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch today's game. What do you guys think of the penalties and all that?
Yeah, listen, I got to catch the game luckily today. So yeah, man, like you said, Nick, it was a carbon copy. It seemed like of the first leg, and if anybody watched the first leg, it was in my eyes it was super exciting, and this game was, I think the super exciting part only came at the end, but because the first 84 minutes was back and forth, just stalemate. But yeah, man, this is Lazio in a nutshell. It seems like they're to reference our friends at Milan Weekly Podcast. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Lazio. That's what they usually call them, and it's absolutely true. So you know, kudos to them. And we had our friend Biagio on, a handful of weeks ago now, and I think he even said it then. This Coppa Italia is the last thing for Lazio to play for. And listen, they're going to the final, and rightfully so, because as much as Atalanta's been up and down throughout this year, they're still under Palladino. And again, I know I had predicted them to finish 10th in the Scudetto in the Serie season with Juric at the helm. They made the switch to Palladino, and I think it's been a breath of fresh air. He brings so much more to this Atalanta team, and they play well. So to be able to go to Bergamo in the second leg and put up a fight against a quality team like Atalanta, I think it's a chapeau and it's a kudos to Lazio. So, um, but yeah, Eduardo Motta, I mean, what a performance! 21 years old, uh, a player that wasn't supposed to even probably get a sniff of the Lazio goal this season. I think he was even on loan at Catanzaro, if I'm not mistaken, or Reggiana, one of the
Regina, sorry. So he's
Reggiana.
only been with Lazio half a season.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
even full
6 months.
season.
Yeah, it's not even like he's been in the winter. I was gonna say that, but I'll let you go on there. But um, so yeah, like listen, this guy wasn't even in the cards like a handful of months ago, and he slots in with the Providel injury, and Sadi throws him in there, and listen, I think he's repaid his faith ever since. Like, yeah, okay, the season in Serie A hasn't gone maybe according to plan for Lazio, um, because I think where are they? They're where they're ninth, 10th, something like that.
Ninth, yeah.
Yeah, ninth in the Serie A table, so it's nothing too glamorous, but listen, you're going to a Coppa Italia final at home, May 13th. Like, it's all to play for against obviously a good opponent in Inter. But for me, Lazio has nothing to really lose in terms of quote unquote nothing to lose in terms of this matchup, because they weren't expected to be there. They're not expected probably to win if you ask the bookies and if you ask the betting people, but they're there, and rightfully so. They're like we said, their goalie, four saves, penalty saves in a row. Like, let alone you make four or whatever, like in a row, like back to back to back to back. Like, I was we were watching it on the TV. It was just like I couldn't believe it. Like, uh, and like decent penalty takers on the other side for Atalanta. So, leave it to Sadi to do some sort of magic and get his team playing at a level that their fans can maybe be somewhat happy about, even though every time we look at these Lazio fans, they're like, oh my god, this team is terrible. But listen, I think they have a big game coming up, obviously, in this final. And I think the home crowd, hopefully, like anytime it's a Coppa Italia final and a Roman team is there, I think you have to play with the crowd. Like, your home fans are there. So for you, as a club that is Roman, like, you have to be able to show up for these matches. So let's see what May 13 brings. It's about a month, just under a month away now, and we'll see what happens. But I think you know they I don't know how to say it, but like, I feel like their big players kind of have to step up. It's one thing that's been lacking, I think, for Lazio. The Zaccanis of the world, as much as people might not rate him. He wears the 10. He wears the armband for Lazio. He, along with some other players, are their top players. Is a top player for them, if you like to say that or not. And we need those players to show up for Lazio. So, because we know that the Inter core is going to show up, I would think, at least, and play a strong game. So yeah, I don't know. It just, for me, it was an interesting. two eggs against Atalanta, and we'll see if Lazio has enough to raise the trophy at home at the Olimpico May 13th.
And like they're coming off they're also coming off a big win versus Napoli this past weekend too. So
they've been playing well. Even the Milan win they had a couple weeks ago as well. So
Sadi's been picking up momentum for them, and it's I know a lot of people like to clown on him. I still have a soft spot for the guy, and he's won trophies before. He knows what it takes to win something. So like Lazio's got the upper hand in this Coppa Italia game than Inter, because Inter is expected to win. Obviously, it's the generic, like the underdog versus the, David and Goliath. But it's not like as if like, okay, well, maybe Lazio wins. Like, no, Lazio does have the capabilities to win this game. Sadi can probably outcoach Kivu for it. Because Inter is probably, they also have their sights set on the Scudetto, even though it is pretty much almost under wraps. You never want to say anything. I honestly think that it's feasible. That it's feasible for Lazio to actually win the Scudetto. It's Coppa Italia. I was talking about the Scudetto before my brain. Anyways, whatever. You know what I meant.
It's feasible, but it's going to be tough. Like it's definitely going to be tough. Like they have a chance, right? They're in the final, so they have a chance. The ball is round. As corny as that is to say, there's a chance. But they're gonna have to play for it. Like they're gonna have to be solid defensively, I think. We always like to say, games are won and lost in the midfield. I think that's gonna have to play a factor. And we'll see what happens in the attack. But if they're able to lock down Inter's attacking prowess, I think they give themselves a chance. And then after that, anything is possible. Like look at today, off a set piece, corner, sorry. Romagnoli gets the better of Jim City and he puts it past. And then in the shootout, it's anybody's game. So I think it's going to be tough, but to your point, Johnny, but they have a chance for sure.
Yeah, I know it's still 2 weeks away. If I had to do a bet right now, I'd still say Inter is just they're the better team. But I feel like with this, especially in a one-off in a Coppa Italia, anything can happen. Look at last year. Milan was going to that game as favorites, right? Bologna, that underdog, that team, they were probably around the same position as Lazio are now, about 8, 9, 10th in the standings last year. And they come out, they got the win. It was an important win for them, getting that trophy. And for Lazio, I think it's going to be the same thing, especially if Inter already has the Scudetto locked up by then. Maybe, especially if let's say they guarantee it the weekend before, maybe they'll kind of have their mind off of the Coppa Italia. They'll have celebrated a bit too much. We don't know. I know they're professional players, but you never know, especially coming off a high of let's say a Scudetto win. A couple days later, it's going to be a midweek game. Maybe Lazio could take advantage of that. Or if Inter still has to clinch to the Scudetto, maybe they'll be thinking about that as well. So, obviously anything could happen. It's going to be in Rome. I know technically home field advantage for Lazio, but whatever, the crowds will be 50-50 regardless, but it still is their home stadium, right, for Lazio. So I think anything could happen. It's gonna be a good game. I do think it will be. Guys, SerieA, pretty much all but locked up for Inter now anyways. I think it's 12 points up over Milan with 5 games left. That means they only need what? Do they only need 3 points?
They could win. They depending how things go this weekend, I think they can even lock it up this weekend if I heard correctly.
Yeah, I forget the tiebreakers. I guess it depends on the tiebreakers. But yeah, realistically, they could lock it up as soon as this weekend, which will be crazy to have finished the pretty much the season in April, right? I know the season won't be done. There'll still be top 4 races, relegation races, but you guys know what I mean. Napoli, I know we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Oh, will they fight for the Scudetto? Feels like maybe we cursed them because since then, was it last weekend? They tied Parma. This weekend, they lost to Lazio 2-0. Look, we knew it was going to be tough for Napoli to even contend with the Scudetto this late in the season. But I think at this point, top 4 between our teams, right? between Milan, Napoli, and Juve right now, the goals top four. And I think that's the interesting race because you got Milan at 66, Napoli at 66, Juve at 63, and Como a bit back at 58, along with Roma at 58. So, for Milan and Napoli, it's okay. Forget about the Scudetto, it's top four race. Jen, you're talking about how Como is going to turn around, and what do you think Napoli needs to do to turn it around?
Find their bearings. I don't know what's the slippery slope, what's happening. It's because also they're limping to the finish line too. Like it's not like as if they're a team that has a perfect amount of depth. It's basically, they're on their course. Conte himself is starting to he tried to motivate the team, but the team is just exasperated. I honestly think for them, it caught up. It caught up. It is what it is. Too many games, too many key players missing. I mean, I would say drama behind the bench, but there's not really much drama this year compared to previous years besides the whole Lukaku incident. About like apparently butting heads, not wanting to train or whatever. I don't even know what that mess was. I can't even talk about it. But you were poised to contend for Scudetto. Past two games, you pissed it away. My personal take on this: just try to stay in top four at this point. It's over. Like, don't even don't dream about it. You're 12 points behind. It's gone. It's 5 games left in the season. It's a full stream. So at that point, keep it respectable. Try to finish second. You have to compete with Milan for that. Almost the exact same record, except Milan's way better defensively. They only let in 27 to Napoli's 33. So if you're Napoli at this point, you try to see, okay, what do we need for next year to compete for the Scudetto again? Or what do we need for next year to, if we qualify for champions, actually try hard for champions, So at this point in time, I would like to see Conte mess around a bit with the youth system. Maybe try to call up a player or two, try to play a kid or two just to see what we got. I'm not saying like fold it. I'm not saying like fold through the season, but top four is what your aim is now. That's the best finish you can do. So that's what I think.
Yeah, no, listen, I think despite like the how do you want to say, like the hopes and prayers of actually maybe surpassing Inter, like even for Milan like a handful of weeks ago or even months ago, whatever it was, like it was there. There was a chance, like, oh, if this happens, if that happens, like maybe there's still some hope there and whatnot. But I think we all kind of deep down knew that it was pretty much locked up. Even when we had when we had Rafa on a couple weeks ago, and even before that, when we were speaking about Milan in that same situation, like, yeah, the chance was there, and yes, there were obstacles to face for these teams. But I mean, those obstacles, Inter got over all of them. Like they beat the teams that were on the schedule for them that we thought were going to be tough games, and maybe they can slip up there so we can gather points in our games and kind of catch up and whatnot. So listen, I think we kind of have to be realists. It was ever since Inter got into the position, it was kind of theirs to lose. It's a shame to say it because as rival fans, you want your team to win for sure, but we say it a lot on this show, and we kind of have to call a spade, and they've been the best team. I still don't think like under Kivu, like I don't know, like I don't know really still how I feel about Kivu. Maybe Inter fans will say different, and that's fine. Like it's just difference of opinions, but I don't know. For me, it doesn't really move the needle. But if they're getting the job done and they're winning games and they have a chance for the double this year, like clearly something's working. So yeah, I don't know. Like for Napoli, I think also like Johnny said, like the injuries didn't help. Yes, they got players back recently, but like was it like realistically there? Like, yeah, maybe like there was a chance and there is a mathematical chance, but I think it was more hope than reality in terms of anybody fighting for first. But and then kind of to quote what Conte said, finishing second is the first loser, right? So you don't even want to finish second, it seems like, but because it sucks. Like there was a chance this year for some of these teams to gain another Scudetto, and Milan being one of them, and I think they pissed away that chance as well. So it could be critical for that. I think Napoli to win again was always going to be tough, but they put themselves in a position to fight for that because we've seen title defenses go completely haywire. With Napoli the first time, or even Milan, that year after. Um, so yeah, like it is what it is. Like there's not really much more to say there, but for Milan's sake too, like, yeah, like I said, they pissed through their hands. Like they weren't able to capitalize on the one game a week. They had to do exactly what Napoli did last year, and they couldn't do that, right? Like it's as simple as that. Like they got bounced in the Coppa Italia sooner than I would have liked to Lazio, who's now in the final, and kudos to them, like we mentioned. So then you're really facing just a once a week battle for the Scudetto, and again they weren't able to do that. Too many drop points against the smaller teams, which ultimately that's how you win the Scudetto. Yes, your head to head against the big clubs is important, but there's so many more of those quote unquote smaller teams to kind of go against to pick up maximum points. And this year, Inter were able to pick up those types of points, and the likes of Milan and I think even Napoli too, like, and then well, Juve, forget it, but they weren't able to do so. So that plays a big factor, and ultimately that's how it's going to end, right? It's going to end with Inter winning the Scudetto, and one of Milan, Napoli, and I probably going to still stick with Juve, even though I would like to see that race for that fourth spot to come down to the wire. But I think it'll end the way it is currently on the table. So yeah, like it's unfortunate on Milan's perspective because I think under Allegri things did get better, but there's still so much to be desired with this team. It's not even funny. Did he help defensively? Absolutely, because last year we were leaking way too many goals. So he's kind of solidified that, if you will. But then on the flip side, we're not scoring as many goals and we're not getting the output from our forwards that we would like as fans. So that kind of aggravates us. And, our midfield is good, but, it can only take us so far, I think. Um, and again, I'm not a huge fan of the shape that he Allegri kind of puts out. The 3-5-2, I think, doesn't optimize and utilize all our players to the best of their abilities. But, and, Nick knows this, and obviously he was a Milan coach as well the first time. But the Allegri Cortomuso wins is something to get used to. It's good when they're in your favor, but when you lose the other way, it's a terrible feeling. And from getting spanked to against Udinese 2 weeks ago to winning only 1-0 against bottom of the table Verona, it's just a ride of emotion. So I think I'm hopeful for next season to if things stay, you know, consistent and cohesive within the organization. I'm hopeful for next season with Champions League money and a bit more clarity of what's going to happen to go forward. That maybe you can get a bit more competitive in the Scudetto race. But as of this year, I don't want to say a failure, but because it's a big term for that. But I don't know. I think it was there for the taking this year, the Scudetto, and I don't think that the competing teams really took it by the horns. And okay, it's fine that it's going to go down to the wire for who's going to finish top four ultimately, but still, that gap from first and second is a gap that should have been closer, in my opinion. No matter who it was going to be in first and or second. So that's kind of the downer for me, but I think ultimately the race for Europe and then the relegation battle on the other end, I think is going to be really what's to watch to end this season. And because there's a lot of teams that going in and going after it. Like we're just talking about the top four, but then if you want to go with the Europa League with Como, Roma, even Atalanta, I think has a an outsider's shot there. It's gonna be interesting to see that as well. So, and then Lazio, if they win the Coppa Italia, there's a they get what is it, Europe somehow next year as well, right? If I'm right in saying that.
Yeah, it's Europa League.
Europa League, right? So, yeah. So again, that's another shake up in the pot. So I think there's a lot still to be played for me. Like I say, almost every year now, it's at this point in the season. There's 5 games left. For me, it's not just 5 games; it's 5 finals for our teams and for
Mhm.
everybody that's competing because
I like that
it's
too.
it is like as much as it's maybe again corny to say and cliche to say, it's 5 finals. It's one game at a time. There's no more, really. Oh well, what if and this and that. Like you have to go out and win. Like there's no two ways about it. Especially seeing how close, like to what Nick's point was earlier. 66 for Milan, 66 for Napoli, 63 for Juve. Guys, it's there for the taking. So.
Oh, Juve can
Well,
have us.
well, yeah, we'll see. And again,
Meno Quinici.
it starts this weekend, right? In SerieA. So we'll see. A lot to be desired, but and a lot to happen and unfold in these last 5 weeks. But excited to see how it ultimately pans out.
Yeah, feels like you almost brought it up, but the Milan Juve game this weekend, Juve beats Bologna 2-0 on Sunday. I couldn't watch it, we were at the Super game, but I checked my phone 2-0. Second minute, Jonathan David scored. I made sure to show that to you, Adri. Jonathan David first.
Yeah, nobody else cared. Nobody else cared but you.
First goal since February, I believe. But Juve, since they got eliminated from Champions League, they're focusing obviously only on Serie A. 8 in a row without a loss, or 7 in a row without a loss. 5 wins and 2 draws in that time span. Every single one of their wins have been a clean sheet. Their 2 draws, obviously, 3-3 against Roma, 1-1 against Sassuolo. It's the only games they've allowed goals, which is a positive sign in of itself. So Juve's coming to this game hot. For me, this is the final big step because the rest of the way they play Hellas, they play Lecce, they play Fiorentina, and they play Torino. Well, no disrespect to these teams, but obviously those are 12 points right there that Juve needs to get. But this game against Milan, it's if Juve gets to 3 points, obviously the top 4 race isn't finished. They still need to beat those 4 other teams in the final 4 weeks, but it will go a long way to securing their place in the Champions League next season. This is what Juve needs, right? Every year, they kind of just need that money to stay afloat, that Champions League money to almost to stay afloat. A draw will mean there's going to be 4 weeks to play for, and obviously a loss won't be so good. Obviously, depends what Como does, depends what Roma does. But Juve's put themselves in a good spot for the Champions League, and that's what I've liked. I know Spalletti already signed his contract, which I was a bit surprised about. I'm not going to lie, because I know when he came in, the incentive was for Juve to make the Champions League, so he signed the contract before they even made it. I know, things have changed, and it's at this point, it's like it's more than just focusing on Champions League. They need a long-term project, and that's what they hope to get from with Spalletti. And guys, I've said it a million times, whoever they go with, it needs to be a project. It needs to be long-term. There needs to be a bit of patience. I know the last 2 coaches between Tudor and Motta, that's probably what they're going for. And then both coaches, let's be real, just kind of shat the bed. But I do think Spalletti is a bit more of a guy you could trust. Maybe 2 or 3 seasons. I don't know if he's a guy who's going to stay on for 4, 5, 6 seasons a la Allegri. But that's way too far in the future. But look, he's had a positive sign. Like I said, 3 straight clean sheets, 5 out of the last 6 games without conceding. I think that's the biggest positive. It's returning back to the Allegri days of defense first, attack second. So this weekend's game is big. I hope my team beats your team twice on Sunday, Adrian, between Milan and Juve Milan and Habs Lightning game 4. But no, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, listen, they put some stability there because I think it was supposed to be what, just like a 1 year and then potentially an extension, post this season. But I think he signed what until 28, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2028,
Around then, I
if I
forget.
saw
Yeah.
correctly.
So
So it's
yeah, it's only 2 seasons, 2 extra seasons. Feels like so far away. 2028. It's only 2 years from now.
yeah, but still, like they're putting some sort of faith, I guess, if you want to call it that, in Spalletti. And listen, Spalletti, we've seen him in Serie A. We've seen him in the national team. We know what he's about. So, like, you kind of know what you're going to get. I think the one thing for Juve, even though I don't think they're where they want to be, let's say, I think they are, kind of, uh, playing a bit for, Spalletti. I don't know if there, I guess there is a bit of a good vibe in the locker room there. I'm assuming because I think this could have went south like really fast if things weren't kind of, cohesive in the locker room and, between the, manager and players. So, I guess something in that aspect is working for them, but at the same time, I don't think they're a finished product. I think there's still lots to be had with Juve. I don't, if we go back to even what they once were, they're nowhere near that. So, um, but yeah, like Nick said, like this weekend is a huge match, and like I just said earlier, like it's 5 finals to end the season. This is one of those finals. Like it's gonna be, a big match, a lot to play for. And again, I don't think that the draw does. I don't think the draw does anything. Like it does more of a disservice for both our teams, Nick, than it does anything else because a draw, 1-1, let's say, or just 0-0 or 2-2, whatever you want to call it, and Napoli picks up maximum points. Now we're chasing. Now we're chasing, and it's a position where you don't want to be this late in the season. Is chasing and not having the cards in your hands. In my eyes. So, um, I think as much as you wanted 3 points, I think for Milan, it's another 3 points that they do need. Like it's huge. Like again, we want to fight for we want Scudetto, right? Like I think our teams want the Scudetto, but with that no longer being in the picture, finishing as high as you can in this case second is going to have to be what it's going to be.
And it must feel
And
like it stings a little bit more because Inter's already got a lead by 1. Now they're going to get a lead by 2.
oh for Milan fans, like as much as we're saying it and we know it's going to happen. Once it happens, it's going to sting even more. Like already that they were able to get ahead of us, get the 20th before us. Now it's going to be the 21st. You kind of have to chase that again, and we don't know when that will be, but hopefully sooner rather than later. So yeah, that stings in itself for sure. But at the same time, we can't change that. Like it is where it is now. It's unfortunate. Maybe if they just, catastrophically collapse in these last 5 games and just totally shit the bed. But we know that's not going to happen. We have to be realists. And, but yeah, like just going back to the game, it's going to be huge. Like Allegri versus Spalletti, Milan, Juve. Like it's a big game. Sunday, 2:45, primetime game for Serie A. Like I just hope it's a good performance on both ends. Like I just want to see a good game. Um, I don't want to see any controversy, any of that bullshit. Like I think we're past that at this stage. Like let's just have a good game, clean game, best team, let them win, and make it be Milan, right? But um, joking aside, I think the first game, if I'm not mistaken, was what, the 1-1, right? The 1-1 at the
Feels like so
Allianz.
long ago.
Yeah, it does. To be honest, you're right. But yeah, I think it was the 1-1 at the Allianz. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Pulisic missed the penalty. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Juve tied it a bit later. If my memory serves me right. Regardless, it was a draw. I think a game that left things to be desired in that match because I think there could have been a winner in that matchup. Fast forward now to this weekend, like there has to be a winner. Like, it can't end in a draw from what I just said earlier. So um, I'm excited. I think I'm hopefully Allegri kind of gets one on his former employers and pulls off a victory at home because you have to do it at home. Like as much as we've kind of struggled sometimes at home, I think you have to do it in front of your home fans. You need your top players to step up. Um, you know, hope to God Pulisic finds a way to make this game the game that he kind of finally wakes up in 2026, because he's been atrocious in the new year. As much as I hate to say it, being a fan of his, but you know, it's just not been good enough. And again, I don't know if, like Leao, I don't know if it's something physical or if it's something mental, or you know, upstairs, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know, but let's just have a good performance, please. Pulisic, Leao, whoever is starting an attack, because we need to score goals. Like it's enough of this, not being able to score and creating chances, not being able to score. So, because I think on the other end, as much as Juve struggle, they've shown at least recently that they can score. So, if it be a David, if it be an Openda, if it be a Conte Sao or whoever it might be, there's players on the other side that are dangerous enough to score. So again, I'm gonna probably go, if I had to say, Nick, I would probably say a 2-1 is probably the result. Now you people can pick which way they want to go with that, but I think it's going to be a 2-1. Yeah, I don't know. It's more than that. I can't really say. I think it's a 2-1 either way. Because again, like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I'd rather not lose, and I'll take the draw if I had to. But like again, just from what I said earlier, just such a disservice. Because who's Napoli playing this week? They're playing Cremonese on Friday. Is that
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So again, I don't want to say nothing and whatever. And we know every team is tough. There's no easy games in Serie A. Johnny, you're muted.
They're playing tomorrow against Cremonese.
Well, it'll be Friday.
Tomorrow,
Well, yeah, when this comes out,
if you're listening to this on Thursday,
yes,
it'll be tomorrow.
Johnny, right? Johnny's a bit ahead of the game, but yes, it's coming out when this episode comes out. It'll be tomorrow that they do play Cremonese on Friday.
In Napoli, it's Thursday, 1 a.m.
Oh no, the website. Sorry, my website was off because it said
No, Johnny, no, don't even go don't even go further. We set you up.
You're
We
correct.
set you up.
You're
You're
correct.
right.
You're always
correct.
right.
Just leave it at that. You're good. But yeah, it will be on Friday, like Johnny said. Which which is as much as we always say easy, there's no easy games in Serie A and all that stuff. It's a doable game for Napoli to get maximum points. So that makes extra extra motivation, hopefully, for this Milan-Juve game to have a winner rather than having the game end in a draw. So let's see what happens. The best team win. Make it be Milan. That's all I have to say.
And Johnny, Roma, they tied Atalanta this weekend. They play Bologna on Saturday, so not an easy game there. I mean, they're there in the top four race, but at this point, it's more about securing at least a European spot. I don't know if there's something you've seen from Roma that you'd like to improve, at least down the stretch, because right now in the last 5 games, it's draw, win, loss, win. Draw, win, loss, win, loss. So it's a bit inconsistent, a bit consistent in the sense that it's up and down, but they haven't strung together 2 wins in a row in a while.
No, they haven't, and it has been problematic, to say the least, because you're trying to find some form, some rhythm, and it just seems like every game you lose it and you have to rebuild it. Like you get a very huge draw versus Atalanta because Atalanta's a decent team, but
they should have won.
Then you lose to Bologna in Europa League. Like you lose to Como. It's like you lose to Genoa. You know what I mean? Like it's tough because the games that you're expected to win, you don't win, and you start to lose faith. And it's like this from time and time again, where it's like they're right there for top 4, and then it slips away towards the end, and it's like you gotta be kidding me. It's like it's a curse at this point, I firmly believe that Gasperini is working on something. Millian, for example, has been a great transfer so far. He's been something that even if we lose a good amount of forwards this summer, if they can find a way to like, I don't know, keep him around for offense and stuff, because Danielle has just been good. Like I can't like
I think he has what, 10
he's got
goals,
10
Malin?
goals already. It's
Yeah, in
crazy.
6 months, in half a season.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
he's got more. Hold on, 6, 7, 9, 11, 14. He's got 4 goals less than the rest of the forwards combined. Just think about that.
Jesus.
We have now Roma has 24 goals from their forwards. Malin's got 10 of them.
10 of them. And he came in January. Imagine.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's just to show like how Roma is still in a, like, look at the spot that they're in and look at the impotent freaking forwards that they have, to get there. It's something that I will have to say it's something that they've been desperate for, for a while. It's a squad that even after that Europa Conference League had to like rebrand itself, and I don't want to say rebrand. Rebrand's the wrong word. Retool. I think retool is probably the better word, because Dybala being injured, and now you have Pellegrini who was injured. Kone is injured. Like you got too many key positions that are just, everyone's dropping like flies. Dovbyk is injured too. Like it's just Gasperini, for what he's got available to him. The fact that you're still fighting for top 4 is really good. I really hope that he kind of like doesn't lose sight of it. It's easy to get like the as a player, it's easy to be like, oh, this is a team that like easy to lose. Like, okay, well, we really got nothing going for us. When in reality, you still got a goal. Roma has been trying to fight for that top 4 for almost, it's going to be almost a decade now. It's crazy. In a few,
What was it,
2019? 7, 8 years.
2019.
2019 was the last time they were champions.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Literally last decade.
Yeah.
This is unheard of. I've always like grown up with Roma in the top 4, and now they're going to be at a point where it's like it's something consistent that they're not. They're just guaranteed to be the 5th place team every time, like the bridesmaid of the Champions League, But back to the main thing. We know Dybala is on his way out.
Yeah.
The Sule go with him. We don't know. I forget if Malin is a pure dry loan or with an option to buy. I'm not sure. But if you, given how, Gasperini's basically found his guy for the system that he wants at Roma, you do whatever you can to keep him, because I haven't seen like good offense like this since the early days of Tammy Abraham at Roma. Like it's like before Tammy Abraham got injured and stuff. Like you don't, like he's effective, and an effective striker is few and far, or forward in this case, is few and far in between. So, defensively they're still solid. Just pray that Svilar doesn't leave. That's another thing too. Like it just sucks because you're trying to get something going, and every time you get something going, you lose a key player here, you lose a key player there. It's a rotating door, and it just you're keeping yourself afloat, but you're not like when is it going to be your time to be effective and strong? Like so. I know people are trying to call already for the head of Gasperini.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw there's something going with him and Ranieri too, like a bit of headbutting there. I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, but even weird. At that, it's like they're professionals. Like they're professionals that disagree. You know what I mean? Like it's totally normal.
Yeah.
You're never gonna fully agree on everything. Like Ranieri is a Roma legend. Like he's a city legend. Like it's I'm not saying like this guy is a legend of the whole world, but Ranieri himself for the club, for what he's done for the club, and what he's done as a manager, and always stepping in, always trying to save the club and whatnot, because that's his childhood team. Like he is a legend in our eyes. And I just think it's just a like that. I don't bat an eye at him. Like, it's just professionals having common differences that are just like, like maybe they don't see eye to eye on certain things, but I don't think it's actually like anything spiteful. But yeah, that's
No,
something I guess.
let's hope not, because we know Gasparini's track record with
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
it's like calling
being,
brother Terone, like
yeah, right, like I mean whatever it might be, like we know kind of the bad blood that can kind of start with Gasparini in the room. But again, what on the flip side, you get some pretty good squads under Gasparini, and some highlighting some players and scoring goal, like for crying out loud, in like 6 months you have Malin scoring double-digit goals in 6 months,
He's fighting for the Capocannoniere.
yeah, like I mean he's not gonna win it, but like just to say like from January till now, like 10 goals, whereas like some guys that have started the year don't even have that number. Like it's insane. So for that, I would have to give big ups for their sporting side. I think that's definitely been a positive. I think Pizzili is another one to kind of hopefully build around in the future. Johnny, I don't know if you agree, but um it's a shame that obviously the injuries are there. That happens to everybody, so it's not something that you can really say, oh, poor me, the injury like bug, like it happens to every club, so it is what it is there. But Pizzili, Malin, I think that defense in Dika, I think is still strong. Mancini, I still have my ups and downs with, but it is what it is. As few are between the pipes is good, but it's gonna be like, how do you guys progress, and if it be another Europa League season, what is it gonna take for Roma to build and go forward with that? Because guys, it's been since 2019, and I feel like since then, since we've been speaking about Roma on this show, it's always been like something that's kind of gone on that doesn't make them get to there. Is it the competition? Is it their squad? Is it the manager? Is it upper management? Is it the ownership? Is it whatever? We've seen it all since that last time Roma's been in Champions League in 2019. So listen, we thought it was gonna take a guy like Jose Mourinho to do it. Is it gonna take a guy like now Gasperini to do it? I don't know. It would be nice. Again, they were right there last season, no, Johnny? Like they were flip flopping with Juve for that fourth spot. I think ultimately, like I predicted at the beginning of the year, I think that's where it's going to come down to again. Unfortunately, again, we're going to throw Como in the mix there because they're in that mix, but so they might throw a bit of a curveball on them actually finishing fifth. But I don't know. Like I think the fans want more, they need more, they deserve more, and we'll see if it comes this year or if it be next.
Anyways, guys, I think that'll do it for us. Enjoy the week of games ahead in the SerieA. We won't be seeing Coppa Italia and crazy shootouts at least for 2 weeks. So no more shootouts. Obviously, no penalties right in SerieA. But yeah, big game on Sunday, Forza Juve, of course. Yeah, it feels like I said, last big game for Juve this season.
I think it's definitely. Even for Milan, I think it's probably one of the bigger ones left. I know Roma has a derby, right, to come up to, which I think is a. I don't know why these derbies are so late, because I even saw, like you said, Nick, the Torino derby, even though that's not even a derby anymore. It's late in the year. I thought that was a bit weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's even the Turin Derby. It's last
Yeah,
game
that's
of the
what I
season.
said. Yeah, Torino derby. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
last
no
game of the
longer
season.
it's no longer a derby, but I mean it's still late in my opinion. Even the
Yeah.
Roma derby, like the derby della Capitale, I was shocked that was like this late in the year.
Yeah, that's okay. That's every
It's
game's
almost
gonna be
as if
played
they
at some
predict the
some
team to be
point.
in a similar position at some point at the end of the year for the drama.
Yeah,
Somebody leaked the
exactly.
script, I guess. Somebody leaked the script. Somebody
Listen,
said something. I'm
if
kidding.
you listen to my dad, everything's scripted, everything's everybody's paid. So like I don't know anymore, So, but no, joking aside, like yeah, just some exciting games this weekend. If it be the Milan Juve, if it be the Roma game, um, Napoli's whatever. I think even Inter plays Torino, so it's whatever. But Listen, last handful of games in Serie A, last 5 weeks, last 5 finals. Like I said earlier, should be good. Again, Milan-Juve, 2:45 Sunday. If you're in the Montreal area, Charles is the place to be. Milan Club Montreal. Anybody else is obviously welcome, but hopefully there's a decent little turnout there. And I think that's pretty much all we have, guys, for today. Again, just want to thank everybody for the continued support. We always say it every week. Even obviously, like, we opened the show off with the super news. It just again, we'll probably be throwing some tidbits on Supra. Over the weeks as the season goes on in CPL as well. But man, just thank you for everybody for the support. Like we say every week, you can follow us on all social media platforms at the Calcio guys. It's very simple. For all the audio version of the podcast, you can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Make sure to rate with 5 stars, leave a comment there. And for all video content of the pod, guys, you know what to do. Subscribe on YouTube, put the post notifications on, leave a comment, like there as well. Everything is definitely appreciated, and share the podcast, guys. It's super easy, super simple. It keeps us going for 300 episodes plus now. So again, we appreciate all that, and we'll be back next week to talk a little more Calcio.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram. The road to 5,000 for the Calcio guys.
Road to 5,000. About time.
To 5,000. Look at that.
Miga.
Miga.
But we'll be back next week to talk a lot more Calcio, guys. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Bye.